Look at this. The exact spot that I'm standing in right now, I visualized it 6 months ago. You have to understand the reality that you want is behind the risk you aren't taking. It's behind the fear you aren't facing. And it's behind the work you aren't putting in. Now, if you have a destination in your life, if you cannot be a subordinate slave to a corporation that could give a fuck about you, then you need to put your fucking foot on the gas pedal and never stop. You need to have so much intention within your mind that you are pulling on the fabrics of space and time itself. You need to be developing yourself in the image of your higher self, and then you will correspond to a higher quality reality. People are living low quality existences and taking life for granted. That breath, people take that for granted. People aren't grateful for the breath of life, the breath of prana that fills their lung to go out into the world and protrude and diverge their will and ingrain it into the fabrics of the universe itself. People are skimping themselves because they don't want to put in work. You have to understand that our mind is literally a program. Your mind is the software. Your ego, your body, your physical is the hardware. And if you don't have the right software to go out into the world and get shit done, then you won't be visualizing shit, having shit, being shit, accomplishing shit, and you'll remain the same low-level bitch that you've always been. So you need to grab your fucking nuts and you need to go out into the world with your sword and command what the fuck you want in life, because if you don't, you will not have what you want. You need to commit. You need to be borderline obsessed with the goal, with the vision, and you have to align with your best interest. You have to become that person. You have to be and become the individual to have already accomplished it. And the moment you create that individual, you naturally become him, you start being him, and now whatever your vision is set into motion. A lot of people create problems. You have to be the individual to solve your problems. In the world, we have problem creators and we have problem solvers. You need to be a problem dissolver. A lot of people think the world is going to revolve around them. But in reality, you need to evolve and become who you always needed. You need to become the individual you always needed. And you'll naturally just come across everything you ever desired. You have to understand, again, 6 months ago, I visualized standing here. I come from a town in the middle of fucking nowhere, in the middle of Virginia. I had people that were talking this, talking that. Oh, you can't do this. You need to stay here and work here. Fuck those people. Those people, if anyone ever stops you from putting your foot on the gas pedal, look at their life and then ask yourself, would you live that life? If the answer is no, then you should be doing exactly what they're not. You should be making choices that they're not making because they aren't courageous enough. They aren't extraordinary in character to go out into the world and accomplish what the fuck they want. A lot of people stay on the low frequency, on the frequency of desire or lower. They always want to have, they always want to gimme. They don't actually want to go out into the fucking world and take. You need to take what's yours. A lot of people remain the same low level 10% individual they've always been. You need to go and you need to face obstacles and you need to pull out the remaining 70% out of you. And then you will truly discover self. You need to go out into the world, face obstacles, and overcome them. We're talking about the will of power, Friedrich Nietzsche, philosophy. You need to go out into the world and will power as an individual. And you do not will power staying in your ego, staying behind that bedroom door in your fucking bag, depressed as fuck, on a computer when you could be roaming Earth and fulfilling your vision naturally, corresponding to all the lower gratifications of money, of woman. All that will come along. You need to create the individual you always needed, and then you need to put your fucking foot on the gas pedal, and you need to never stop. And the moment you do that, the moment you actually the moment you actually initiate yourself into your own creation, until you actually become the individual, you will be in an unfolding process, divinely anointed and divinely bestowed upon you from God. You have to understand that you are not separate from the universe. The only evil is perceived separateness. You have to understand that you are one with God. You are one with Father. You are one with the universe. And until you can fully comprehend and know that you will remain in this fear-based, low-level reality that you've always been in, and you will remain this low-level piece of shit character that you've always been in. You have to understand that you need to develop yourself into that individual. You won't just naturally become. No, you need to go out your way. You need to discipline your mind. You need to bend your mind to your own will. People's mind are bending themselves to the will of the body, to the will of the vessel. They can't even restrain themselves from substances like weed, alcohol. They can't even restrain themselves from food. They can't even sit down for 30 seconds, recuperate their fucking brain and mind, and cohere and allocate themselves to a specific outcome in life. They can't even sit down for 1 minute and 30 seconds and think about what the fuck is gonna happen in their future. They're being pulled by all these external distractions. You have to understand that the external will come. All the externalities that everyone seeks, those will be bestowed upon you through further complexity within your development. But if you are not developing, you will remain a low-level, unsuccessful, thwarted individual. You will not become anything. You will remain miserable in misery. You will be futile. Your efforts will correspond to nothing. You will be nothing. You will remain nothing. And until you understand that you have to, or you just won't, then you won't really go out into the world and take the action that you need to take. You won't go out into the world and take the risk you need to take. You won't go out of your comfort zone to expand and grow to become the individual you always needed. Success will always remain as a second-hand option. Until you have no options, it will remain a second-hand option. Now, for the real ones, go out of your comfort zone and take the biggest fucking risk. It says in the Bible, find the biggest fucking burden and carry that shit. Withstand it, endure it. You will grow so exponentially internally that with further complexity within your development, you will naturally accrue all the externalities, all the desires. Everything will be bestowed upon you. You have to understand, in the Bible, it says, first seek heaven and everything will be bestowed upon you. Now, if the Father is within you, then why would heaven not be within you? Heaven is a frequency. You need to rise in frequency. You need to rise to a level of understanding your true essence, the true depth of your mind. How much can you endure? How much can you withstand? What kind of character are you? Who are you roaming earth? You've been spawned on earth and you're doing time on earth that God gave you, but you're not doing time. Time is doing you. You didn't go out into the world and foster XP, experience points, and level up in life. You didn't ascend through the levels of existence. You remained on the lowest levels, and you chose complacency over risk and adversity. You chose a lower quality existence over being and becoming. The only unfoldment is the only unfoldment. There is no safe zone. 100% safety guarantee is a 100% L, is a 100% F. And every time you choose the safe, comfort, low-level piece of shit, self-indignation, degradation, futile fucking habits, you have to understand your habits create your habitat. And if you are indulging in that habit that is negating and stopping you from growing into the individual you were supposed to become, then you will never become the individual you were supposed to become, which is the path of resistance, the path of least resistance. I call it the path of most resistance. You're supposed to walk that, and then you're supposed to give that individual to the world. You're actually supposed to be human. You're supposed to actualize yourself. Human. A lot of people aren't human. They're low-level chimpanzees, apes, And until they could actually actualize their mind and put an effort into their life instead of neglect it and choose instant gratification, low quality fucking satisfactions to make themselves feel better about being a low level bitch, then so will it be. And your thoughts and feelings create your actions. Your actions create your character. Your character will create your destiny. Now, that's going to be in my book. So stay tuned. Join the Patreon community. Like-minded individuals, rare esoteric knowledge. You can go feed your mind actual quality, actual food to prosper within existence, to enlighten your mind, to actually have a mind with photons in it instead of being a dark abyss and casting your shadow upon the world to make others feel less about themselves because you are projecting that, because that's what you are, less. Go out into the world and explore. If you join my community, you won't regret it. Peace.